What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video we're going to be looking at the 2025-2026 summer edition what's in the bag. We're going to look at the clubs I've chosen, why I've chosen them. We're also going to look at how this affects my journey chasing the pro dream. Let's dive straight in. Okay, starting at the top, we've got the TaylorMade QI10. I play the LS head. That's because I just launch the ball very high and spin it a lot. So I've got the LS head, and a little different to most, I play it in an 8-degree head. So this is a little bit of a special order from TaylorMade. Shaft wise, I'm playing the Future Ventus TR7X Black. This just helps me bring the spin down and the launch down. For anyone who knows me and has played with me, you'll know that I can launch the ball really high and I spin it well. So you know, to have a shaft and a head that works as a good combo, it just helps me bring the flight down and helps me just control it better. That's the driver. Okay, on to the rest of the woods and utility irons. So as a wood here, what I've got, so most people have a 3 and a 5 wood. I've opted to go right in the middle, so I've got a 4 wood. This is a Titleist TSR 3 as a head. I've got the weight in neutral. It's a 16.5 degree head, so that's why I say it's a 4 wood. It's not really a 3 and nor is it a 5, so 16.5 degree head. And in shaft, I'm playing the Hazardous Smoke 6.5 80-gram shaft. This is a little bit of a newer one to the bag, probably the newest option to the bag. I put it in, it just gives me that little bit extra of an option when I've got a long par 5. It's not necessarily really a off the tee club, but it's more just a high floaty, bit of a spinny option for me if I need to go into a long par 5 with this as a second shot. Cool, then on to utility irons. I've got something, it's quite a nice little weapon here. It's the original P792 iron from TaylorMade. Running the same sort of shaft, so it's also the Hazardous Smoke. The only difference is this is 100 grams, whereas the 4 wood is 80 grams. I just feel like this gives me that little bit better of an option for when the wind picks up like it is now, to be able to hit a sort of more penetrating ball flight with a little less spin. That's my top order of the bag. Let's move on to the irons. Okay, moving on to the irons. This is the second oldest item in my bag at the moment. I've had them now for, this is the 6th year I've had them. So, in the 4 and 5 iron, I play the Titleist T100. This is the original Titleist T100s that they brought out first. I think it was 2017, 2018, somewhere there. And then from 6 iron all the way through to pitching wedge, I play the 620 MBs, also from Titleist. I went with this combo. It's a little odd one. Most people would probably go MB, CB in the longer irons. But I went with this one just purely for me. The Titleist T100s at the time, they had a much thinner profile line at the top when you stand at address. And for me, that just looked like it matched, you know, going from the blades all the way through into slightly more forged or semi-blades almost. So that was one of my reasons. And then another was just gives a little bit extra ball speed and launch when you've got a longer shot in, which obviously, you know, you're not going to turn down a little bit of help if you can get it. Onto the shafts, I play the Project X rifle shafts in 6.5. I'm a little bit taller, so I play them 1/2 inch extended. It runs through from my irons all the way to my wedges. And then recent changes, what I've done is we play the iron heads in a standard lie angle, and then we've got them 2 degrees stronger on loft. This is not because I'm trying to find distance out of them, but it's more just so that I can fix the launch angle, because otherwise it spins up too much and then it just floats. That's the irons. Let's check the wedges. Okay, onto the wedges. I've got 3 wedges, not excluding my pitching wedge. That's part of my iron set. I won these through the Bushveld Tour probably 2-3 years ago, and probably my favorite clubs in the bag right now. Just the ability to control the ball flight and the spin is unbelievable. So I've got 50, 54 and a 60 degree in the RTX zip course from Cleveland. Now it's not actually 50, 54, 60, you know, the 1 degree off would be a bit funny. So I actually play a 51 degree gap wedge, 54 degree sand wedge, and then I like the 60 just purely because it gives me a little bit extra play. They are bent like that, they're all standard. The shafts have been extended another inch, the same as the irons. In terms of bounce, I play the sand wedge and the gap wedge, both at a 10, so it's a mid bounce. That's just the easiest. I think it's the most adaptable to any circumstance. And then in the 60 degree, I've got a low bounce, so it's 6 degrees. This just helps on drier surfaces, but in the wet, it can be quite interesting, I will say, like a hot knife through butter. And then the shafts, it's the basic dynamic gold spinner wedge shafts. And that's the wedges. Okay, finally, we are onto the putter. This is the oldest item in my bag. It is also it's got to be over 6 years old now. It has left the bag temporarily and then come back. It is the original Titleist. It's the original TaylorMade Spider X. So it's the navy blue with the white top line. This was originally bought at 35 inches. In terms of length. Then I switched to a different putter for a little while, let a friend borrow it, which what we did then is we made it 40 inches and turned it into a counterbalance. And funny story, he gave it back to me because he wasn't putting so well, and I took it out for a test run the one day here at Waterkloof and had 11 putts on the back nine. So let's just say since then it's found its way back into the bag, and don't regret it. Definitely putting is one of the best parts of my game right now. So this is the putter. Probably going to be looking at changing the grip, just this one's getting a bit old and, you know, grim and stuff. So might change the grip and might just chop it back down to about 38 inches instead of the whole 440. But that's the putter. You'll see it looks a bit scrappy, but it does the work, you know. Okay, let's have a look at what's in the bag in terms of accessories and what I carry on a normal tournament round. I have just finished up a round this weekend in a tournament where so the bag is going to be pretty much fully stocked with everything that I would use or need while I play a competition round. So we'll start at the top here. I've got my towel. This is quite a big towel. I like that because, you know, if you want to have an intense putting session, you just fold it up, put it down, you don't damage greens as much. But also you've got a dry and a wet side, so keeping grips dry but also being able to clean the face is quite a nice thing. Then I have 2 alignment sticks I always travel with, plus the alignment stick cover. This is a big one for me. I hate it when the top of the driver or the forward gets scratched by it. I've had it once or twice before, and it's a mission to try like buff out or polish out. So to have this cover is a very important thing for me, and also I can use it when I'm at the range just to help with connectivity and stuff like that. So that's the top part of the bag. Then we're going to start here on the side pocket. All right, we'll start with these. So normally I carry a couple of gloves. So this is a nice little freshie. This is from Hooked Golf, one of my sponsors. So they sort me out with gloves. These are some really cool AAA grade Cabretta leather gloves. So I've got a few options of these in the bag. So this is just a fresh one, and I've got a few others. I've got the navy in here. I've got the white with the lime. Really nice gloves. What they do is they just give me an extra option or two just when it comes to what outfit I'm wearing on the day. So I have these extra gloves in here. And then what else do we have in here? We've got my yardage book cover. So this is just for when you play tournaments and stuff. Either I have my own yardage book, or like on a Bushveld tour, we get given them as a member. I get given them. So in there, I'll just keep it there, plus scorecard and pin sheets. You can actually see I've still got pin sheets from this weekend. But yeah, now let's have a look at this pocket. So in here, got my little bag. In here is where I keep sort of my essential things for a normal round. So, you know, I've got a bit of gum in there. I've got ball markers, pitch mark repairers. And then funny thing, I've got a compass as well. This just helps me work out the wind at like places where you get a lot of swirling. So Sun City, you know, you're in a bit of a valley, so you have a lot of swirling. So nice compass to help, and then just a card for the range, and then trusty little earphones. This is just something I'll chuck in, you know, pre-round. I like to warm up with listening to music or while I'm on the range, so I've got a pair of earphones that stay in the bag the whole time. Let's have a look at the big pocket here. So in here we've got my nice little Carnoustie bag. This was a gift from my gran. In here we've got a tool for the driver, so it's just to change loft and stuff or tighten the heads. Then I've got a stencil with a blue marker. This is for the golf balls that I use. Just something that I always use. I always line up my balls, so always an important part. Then I've got a few putting balls, so I just use these tricks and divides. They're nice to be able to tell what the roller is doing the whole time. You know, if you're not rolling it well or something like that, it's a great ball to use. And then just your basic couple of tees. And that's pretty much it. Then in the rest of the bag, I've got a tennis ball. You know, I use this mainly if I need to stretch or roll like on my glute or something that gets a bit tight. You know, it's more focused on an individual spot, so it helps release a bit quicker. Otherwise, sometimes you can use it just to help with your putting, makes the hole a bit smaller and it pops off the face, so on fast greens it's a nice one to have. And then finally, just some golf balls. So for the line and stuff, that's the blue line that I use, with the little face line just to help. And yeah, I play the Titleist left dash. Yeah, here's the ball that I just used. I line it up just like that. I don't know if you can see. I'll just show a little close up. That's the ball I use, Titleist left dash. That's it for that pocket. Now onto this big pocket. Like I said, I've just had a tournament now this weekend, so we had a bit of rain. So in here I've got a nice little rain jacket. Then I've got probably the most important thing in my bag at the moment is a Vizio putting mat by Phil Kennan. So this is the class 1 face line, so arc 1. In there I've got the mat, and I think I've got about 28 tees in there. So that's just something that I'll always have with me. You know, before a round, after a round, I'll chuck this down. It just helps give me that extra bit of confidence when it comes to my putting stroke. Then finally, I've got these two things. One, my little bag. It's got all my extra pencils, pens, there's an extra stencil, and a couple of scissors if I need to put some tape on my fingers or stuff. And then it's in here somewhere. Oh, sunblock, massive important thing here in Africa. And then where's this thing gone now? There we go. So I've got this nice little, it was a nice thing I got from Discovery. It's a little medical thing, so I've got tablets, plasters, alcohol tabs, all of that. Is just something you should carry as a competitive golfer, because you never know when you're going to get hurt or stung by a bee or get a cut from a branch. So very important little thing that you should have. And that's it for the what's in my bag. Okay, that's it. That concludes this year's 2025-2026 summer edition of What's in the Bag. Please make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you guys would change out of my set and what you like out of my set, and also let me know what you guys are jamming in your sets as well. I feel like they're going to give me the best opportunity going into my next few tournaments and then chasing down my dream of, you know, chasing the pro dream. So yeah, if you're new here, please also make sure to subscribe. We've got some new awesome content coming, you know, road to pro, practice sessions, tournament vlogs. So please do make sure you hit that subscribe. We are chasing a little goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we've got about two and a bit months left. So we're about to hit 100, so 900 more to go. Let's see if we can hit that goal within 2 months. I think it'd be quite an achievement if we can. So make sure to subscribe down below. And then yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the course.